Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you to everyone for the lovely comments we got on the last video with myself and Esther up on the flybridge, which was lovely, and we'll do lots more of that again, I promise. So this week I managed to get quite a bit done, so I'm going to go through what we're hoping to do, and in actual fact we got most of it done. So we got the fuel tanks are fully welded down and the floors are about to go in, and also we got the transom exhaust stainless steel pipe out to the back of the boat and welded in as well. So all of that's been quite a bit of a success. So I got plenty done, so let's see what happened this week. So it's a lovely day in Dungarvan today, and I'm just about to start welding down these lids, or at least tacking them down, and then I'll close them all in. These are steps we just use for work, for staging purposes, and they're enough to literally go over the little hull covers, which will stop sparks and dust and stuff going down there. And the only thing I need to do now to prep these is just move these slightly and just give one little run along there. You can see this overspray. You can see me using the jacks to push it down. I started in the centres and moved out, and as you can see now, firstly it's completely flat, and I mean completely flat with a level on it, but also because of the stresses that were in it and the way I took them out of it, you can feel there's absolutely no give in it, because these are technically tensioned back up the way I'm trying to get my hand in there, so they're tensioned now where the weld is trying to pull them that way, but they've already been pulled that way, both ways, so they're absolutely rock solid. There's no, even though it's only 4mm plate, so I'm very happy with that. This one will settle down just the very same, so I'm getting lovely welds, lovely little strip welds along, eating into the side of the sheet, penetrating down into the underneath, and it's just a case of then slowly filling all those gaps in and over welding them, and this will be airtight.
So what I've basically done here is just bit by bit strip welded in various places, trying to keep the heat down at the same time. Just maybe, 100mm or 6 inches, bit by bit. And that way you're guaranteed that the sheet won't warp and the weld won't create any major problems with the surfaces.
So this is about an hour and a half later. I've probably done, what am I doing? 2.5 meters times 4 is 10. On the sides, another 1600 times 2. So nearly 14 meters of welding. Slowly now, all just 6 inches at a time here and there, moving around. Keep the heat down. I haven't burnt the plates. The paint that I've painted underneath so far that I can see with my phone, I'm going to video that now shortly and see exactly what I have to paint left inside them. So I'm thrilled at that now. It's taken quite a while, but they're down, and there's absolutely, they're solid as a rock. They're really firm, so there's no flex in them whatsoever, so they're very stiff. So I'm delighted with that. So we continue on. I welded all the tops of the tanks in yesterday, which was all went fine, perfect. So today now I need to start working on getting the floors finished and painted, primed and painted, so at least I get up to the sides of the walls, so I can put in the T-sections which go across the top of the tanks. Some of those, the undersides of them will have to be cut down now because the tank is technically about 4mm in the way of those bars, but that's not a problem. We can deal with all that, so that's fine. So tonight, I've missed a lot of today. I ended up cutting grass and doing all sorts. and I'm just going to put a piece of plastic over each of the holes, and then I'm going to flap disc that top surface weld the whole way around the top to make sure that I have metal meeting the top of the tank, which means I'm sealed. I do know I've gone down into the underside, the bit is sitting on. I know I've penetrated that, and I just want to close that gap. It'll look much nicer when it's painted. So that's what I'm going to do now. So just to show you, I just cut some of these little pieces of plastic, and essentially I'm just going to use that really good stage tape, gaffer tape, to cover those over. And that's just going to keep the dust out of them, and I won't step in them, because I want to level all these little top welds, and just one run across the top of that on both sides, just to make sure that I see the steel of the sheet. Once I see that, I know I'm good, and it'll just look much nicer painted. Then I can, they're already completely rusted. It's literally rust prevention where there's any bit bad. Other than that, then coat of low rust primer down there, and then we're into the epoxy. So essentially I should get all this banged out this week and get the floor girders in, as I had said to Esther, and we can actually put some timber down here, temporary timber sheets, so we can actually walk here and finish the walls out, and then we can start insulation hopefully in about 2 weeks time. So the other thing to do as well, I'm hoping tomorrow that the wind will be the way it is. The exhaust hole is going in there tomorrow, and also once I know where that is, then I'll mark the hole for this one, and the one going through that bulkhead can go in, and then I can move in the stainless welder in here, and I can weld those out, weld as well on the outside. Hey everyone, lovely still day here in Dungarvan, and that's the day I needed. I've been waiting for it for a couple of days, to be honest. I've been waiting for a bit longer, to be honest. I need to weld the transom exhaust part in, stainless steel welding into the mild, and I need to cut the hole for the exhaust, which I'm going to do today. I've so little wind here today, it's going to be perfect. Because I'm welding outside, I can't have a strong breeze, which I've been having all along. So this way I can weld with the gas, and it'll be perfect. So let's see how we get on today. So I'm nearly set up with a little plasma here and stuff. Now one thing I am going to do is I'm going to move the hole up even further. So I'm going to be a long way up off the water line. The reason being is that we just can't be sure exactly where Shibumi will sit in the water, and it's better to be too high than too low. I'm not worried about, you know, fumes or anything like that, or trying to have it buried in the water. None of that's a concern, because I've got that whole swim deck above me, and realistically we're not going to be swimming near while the engine's on, etc. And the generator feed will be coming out further up anyway, so that won't really matter. So I'm going to drill that. I'll have to drill it to pierce it to get the plasma to work, and then try and cut through the epoxy. I think once I get it running, it should cut. I'll cut it slightly bigger than the new circle I'm going to just draw, and then grind it out to the exact shape, and hopefully before the wind starts to pick up any bit at all, get it welded in. So I'll be cleaning all that off yet. So a small level of procrastination. We've gone from here to here to here. I'm happier with this. I had the hole drilled, it really doesn't matter. I just moved the arc slightly to this side. This is where I'm going to go. I'm going to try and cut this line. Remember now, this is this way, but the exhaust will actually be straight to the bolt, so it will end up being ground out to be an angle. But I have the piece, so once I can get the piece in there, then I can see where it's tight and where it's not fitting, and straighten it out. So it's going to be going like that, and just about this much of it will be sticking out, 110 millimeters on the inside, and then this is going to get beefed up with something very shiny and very custom. So that's a while away. My main thing today is just to get it closed, get it installed, and get it welded all around. So once I have this cut, then I'll strip away all this paint here, and then I can get a nice clean weld with stainless, and at least I can weld it solidly in a lovely fine big fillet weld the whole way around. It's going to take a while. that factory has gone all around. And just do that. There we go. So in case anyone's wondering about the welding mask, I'm purely only just using it as a shield. I have the electronics turned off to stop it tinting. So there we go. Now I think it's going to be a little bit tight. I'm sure the cabin inside is completely full of smoke. Burnt off the paint a little bit. I'll be grinding that back. You can see solid steel there. I have two cameras running here, so we'll switch between the two. You can see our solid steel here in good nick, and I'm very happy with that. Now, as to whether it'll fit, that's another story. So let's see. Look at that. Now, a little bit here to get the angle on it. And a tiny bit of dentistry to do there, but that's okay. We do all that. So I'll get a grinder now and I'll tidy all this up. It's just got a layer on the inside as well that I'll want to get rid of. So I've removed all the plasma gear, I've removed the big welder. It'll be the smaller one I'll be using with the stainless steel wire in it. I'm more or less set up. Now, don't anyone jump down my throat, because the magnets aren't going to stick to the stainless steel. We all know that. But what it will do is help me just let it sit there and position it while I get a couple of tacks on it. I've cleaned the, and I found that word, it's, excuse me, I tripped over the ladder. It's dross is on the inside, but you can see now it's nice and clean on the inside, so plenty there to weld with, plenty thick. And I'm going to have a cup of coffee and then I'm going to start. Just of course it did have to, small bit of drizzle, nothing major. I think that camera's okay there. So hopefully now I'll get this tack welded in and it'll sit in nicely, and then I can finish it out really slowly, small bit at a time. Slowly making progress. I'm just starting to grind it back now, and I might have to add another little bit of weld here and there, but essentially I'm getting there. It's exactly where I want it. It's been a bit tricky up top there, getting the grinder in there. I've just enough room. I literally could do it if just a centimetre lower, it'd be better, but slowly getting in there. I'm going to get flap discs on it now in a while. I don't want to go too near to the tube. I don't want to hit it with the grinder. I prefer to sand right into it with a smooth flap disc and take it off at a much slower pace. But essentially I'm very happy with it. So it's taken me about 2 hours to actually make a shape on that and pull it all back in with flap discs and grinding discs and everything. I know the light isn't great now, it's starting to get very cloudy. Now there's a tiny bit to be done up the top yet. I can't get a grinder in there, I need a full disc. But in hindsight, yeah, I'd have lowered it maybe a centimetre, because I'm just too close to the top piece there to get a grinder in there. But I've already had it, I've actually re-welded a little bit up there just to tidy it up. So I'm very happy with that. I have a small bit from the inside. Now it's not welded on the inside, I'll clean all that up. And when I'm cutting through here and welding in the other stainless, I will, you know, put some nice strips of weld all around that. But it is welded on the outside, and I have my 4 inches. At least 3.5 on the other side, so it'll be fine. So the exhaust will come along here under the bed. There's going to be a big closet in there, hanging space and bits and pieces, and the pipe will come up, loop around and back down onto there. So just follow the way the camera went.